we all have that one thing that we've always wanted to do or bring in. That one thing that really matters to us, that would make us feel either more confident throughout the day, make our lives easier, or even just make us have more energy and feel great. And yet we never, ever get around to it. We never get around to bringing it into our lives. And yet it holds on to us. It is always kind of at the back of our mind. And we get constant reminders about it because we want to do it so bad. So my name is Natalie Pelto, and I am one of the co-founders of Blue Life RX. And today I'm going to share with you guys 3 tips on how to get started on the one thing. First of all, I'm going to share what my one thing was, and you guys might think it's hilarious because it seems so silly and so trivial, but it really had a huge impact in my life. So for me, the one thing that I always thought about doing when I was in corporate healthcare, what I really wanted to do was have a field of work where I could get ready and not have to wear scrubs. I wanted to be able to wear makeup. I wanted to be able to do my hair and not have it hide under a mask. I wanted to be able to use my essential oils in my space. I wanted a bit of freedom in what I wanted in my day-to-day life. And I would have taken any one of those. Unfortunately, that's just not how corporate healthcare works. And what's really interesting and why I share this is that when I started working from home as a business, I also didn't do the one thing. I had the opportunity. I had my makeup there. I had the essential oils there. I had everything I could possibly want, and I didn't do it. Now, why is that? We get caught into our habit trap. If I didn't have time in my mind, in my belief system before healthcare, that I didn't have time to get ready in the morning, what made me think that I could do and get ready now? What was the difference? That I was home, that I had extra time? The truth is that we all have the time. We can all find the time. We are the masters of our time. We can literally, at a drop of a hat, for example, if you were at work and a pipe burst in your home, you would bend time and you would choose to be where you needed to be to fix an emergency. And so that is one proof right away that we are the masters of our time. But we get caught in the habit trap as well. So I'm going to give you guys 3 very powerful tools to overcome your own mind so that you can start doing the one thing, whatever that may be. So for some of you guys, it might be going plant-based. For some of you guys, it may just be having a healthier breakfast. For some of you guys, it may be making sure that when you're going to work, you have your lunch packed so that you don't buy or eat foods that are brought in. That's a really big complaint when you work in healthcare. I hear it all the time. It might be that you have, this huge thing that you want to do, but every single time you go to schedule it, you schedule it during a very habitual thing that happens in your life. So I'm going to give you 3 tips to support you taking the action steps to your one thing. The first thing to do is actually to explore your own belief system around the one thing that you have. Do you feel, and ask yourself these questions, do you feel that they are unattainable, this one thing? Why is it unattainable? Do you feel that you're not good enough to have the one thing? That's a really big one. Ask yourself that question. These are questions that I actually had to ask myself as to why I wasn't doing the one thing that was so easy to do, which was get ready in the morning and put my makeup on and, be confident throughout the entire day. So your first step is to explore your beliefs around the one thing you want and really explore how much you want it. Is this one thing truly going to change your life? Or is it just something that you keep putting off that as a someday? Your belief system is going to impact your actions. And so really start to think about how your belief systems are creating the actions of either avoidance of the one thing, or if they're more feelings of unattainability, of unworth, because those are things that we can work on right now. The second thing to do to attain the one thing is to match up the emotion that it will give you when you attain it. So for example, why did I want to get ready in the morning? What would that do for me? Was it superficial because I wanted to look pretty, or was it deeper? And to be truthful, it was actually when I was younger, I got ready every day. And it brought on, just like it was part of my routine, it brought on confidence for me for the day. It made me feel like I had said yes to myself first. So it was very psychological as to what I was doing. And I was told as I grew my personal development, I did miracle mornings every day. I did routines of journaling and meditation. And you know what's really interesting is my confidence was linked to me taking the time to say yes to me and taking the time to get ready. And I didn't have to do all of the other things. They were not something that, I think they're magical to do, by the way, but they were not something that created a huge impact in my life, like me getting up, doing my hair. And I'm not talking about putting chemicals in my hair. I'm like talking about brushing it. And when you're in healthcare, trust me, this is something that it's easier to just tie your hair up in a quick ponytail, shove it in a cap, and just go to work with masks and some glasses on, especially towards the end. And so why would you get ready? And so I became very like feelings of unworthiness. It didn't matter how much I meditated. It didn't matter how much I did those things. And so I had to explore that feeling of unworthiness and just see where it came from. And so the second thing to do is to really write down how you want to feel and not how you want to feel, how you know you will feel when you get to this second, or you get to this one thing. And I knew that confidence is something I need in my business. So I made it a priority to do things that made me feel confident, that made me feel brave. I stood in front of a camera without filters. I realized quickly that I don't have to put a lot of makeup on my face for me to feel confident. But I sometimes like to do that. And so I had to make these choices of how can I in my day-to-day start to feel more confident. And so I started working through the actions that made me feel confident. And today is a really magical example of this, because today what I did was I have a huge day of calls today. I am also working on a lot of creative things today. When I'm in creation mode, I don't generally wear or get ready as much as I would if I was meeting with people. But because I'm doing both, I almost didn't get ready. And I thought to myself, do the one thing. This is what you wanted. And I did the one thing, which was I brushed my hair, I put on some nice clothes, and here I am in front of you. And it inspired me to share about this topic. Okay, so you have the first thing to do, which is explore how you feel about the one thing. How important is it on your priority list? And are there things or beliefs that are getting in your way of getting the one thing? Number two is matching up the emotion that you will have when you have the one thing, whether it be something physical or whether it be an action or a habit. How are you going to feel when you bring your lunch to work every single day instead of eating pizza from downstairs or eating all of the cookies that somebody brought in? How are you going to feel about that? How is that going to change your energy, your physiology, your mentality, your spirituality? What is the emotion that you can link up? And the last thing is to take massive action, to move towards those goals in a way that tells the world, this is what I want. And every single day, if you want to do this one thing, think about it first thing. And remember to attach the emotion and find ways to implement the emotion into your day-to-day. So number three is, how do you match up the emotion that's going to give you that one thing, or the feeling of having that one thing, and then do that every day. It's that simple, guys. It will create habits when you feel there are none. I mean, I could talk about habits all day long. That'll be a video for future, but your mind is the first part of a habit being built. And if there are things in the way, that are sabotaging your growth, limiting thoughts, beliefs, boxes we've placed ourselves in, then you have to start there. So I hope that you found these 3 tips super helpful, and I was super happy to bring them to you. And all I'm going to end with is do the thing.